What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, the headline will read, Breaking Robert Downey Jr. reprises his role as Iron Man and signs on for the Disney Plus Ironheart series based on today's report, which we will go over, and to some, that will come as news. But for people who have followed channels like mine for the better part of a year or two, you've known that this has been reported on basically since the end of Avengers Endgame, being confirmed from multiple sources, including real recently industry insider Mikey Sutton. We're going to go ahead and break down the whole chronicle of what's been going on with this report, including Robert Downey Jr.'s most recent weigh-ins, the quote that he was done with the character coming just within the last week, and how Marvel Studios plans on bringing this character back based on all the reports that we have without ruining the sacrifice he made in Avengers Endgame, which we think is very possible as long as they stick to one key detail. We're going to break down this most recent report and the entire chronicle of what's been going on with Robert Downey Jr. and coming back as Iron Man for Ironheart, regardless of anything he said in the last year, and explain how we think Marvel Studios will do this and not ruin his sacrifice. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're still giving away this insane 1/4 scale beta ray bill, as well as our third and final Infinity Saga box set just next week, and we've added a PlayStation 5. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the other giveaway stuff again there. So guys, apologies right off the bat. I'm going to be a little less straight line academic in this video than I normally am, because to me, this has become the most reported on story, I think, at the channel, other than the Spider-Verse stuff, including today's most recent headline from some industry insider sources confirming that he signed on again now as Iron Man to reprise his role in the upcoming Disney Plus Ironheart, literally reported on as of today. And every single time I run the story that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, I cannot believe how much people dig in against it, although to me and for other industry insiders who have been reporting on this as him coming back for the Ironheart series, it's an absolute no-brainer. Of course he's coming back. It's just that until real recently, like last week, there wasn't any confirmation of an Ironheart series, so the speculation that he would return for that was just that, speculation. Although there's as many instances of Robert Downey Jr. in interviews, everything from the Joe Rogan Experience to the one that was reported on just a week ago, of him denying that he's coming back as Iron Man, saying that he's absolutely done with the character and that he wouldn't be doing anything more. He said he had done all he could do. But then again, you're going to hear his voice as Iron Man in the upcoming animated Disney What If series, and we also know that we may even see a scene that's already been recorded in the upcoming Black Widow. When you think about characters that have truly died in the MCU, if you're talking about maybe something like Bucky, well, he came back. If you're talking about Gamora, who was sacrificed for the Soul Stone, well, she came back in the very next film. And now Black Widow, who was also sacrificed for the Soul Stone, has her very own film. Death in the MCU is very well impermanent. It's the same way it was in Marvel Comics. They came back all the time. Remember this guy turned into dust? Yeah, he has his own series in about 3 months. Remember this girl turned into dust? Yeah, she has her own series within the next 2 weeks. The guy laying next to her? Yeah, he died a different way. He's in that series too. We already have a ton of canon that shows how people can come back in a various amount of ways, including time and the multiverse, which are all on the table now going into Marvel Phase 4. The crossover event with Loki is going to explore that fully. No matter what Robert Downey Jr. has said about not coming back, and no matter what he says about being done with the character, we all saw how Dr. Dolittle did, and the reports that swirled right around when that movie didn't do so well at the theaters that he would be back in the MCU, well, there were a ton of them. Now, some brand new reports, including one from industry insider Mikey Sutton just within the last month, that he would be back for an upcoming Avengers Secret Wars crossover, and that now we have confirmation of not only the Ironheart series, but the Armor Wars series as well. One will lead to the other, and now all of this Iron Man stuff, how are they going to do this without him exactly? Or is he done with the character? Well, as we said in the prologue, there's one small detail, one small rule that if we believe they stick to and use very sparingly, well, they'll pull it off a lot better than, let's say, the CGI they just used on young Luke Skywalker. This is a very obvious no-brainer, and to me, this is what they need to do so that nothing gets ruined. Just make it pre-recorded holograms. So if we get any new Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role, recording new audio and maybe even video for the hologram, it's old stuff. It's stuff from back in the day, so it doesn't ruin his sacrifice. It's not new Iron Man. I've always brought this up every time this gets reported, that you run into this catch-22. If you bring back Tony Stark as an AI so that you can consult with him and get him to weigh in and help on new problems, then why would you not just use him the whole time? And in fact, just put him as an AI like Jarvis in all of their suits or ears, because wouldn't the team be better off if Tony Stark AI is available? But that doesn't really make sense from the MCU standpoint, and from Marvel Studios. All of a sudden you're paying Robert Downey Jr. Money, which is insane, just to be a voice actor as a part of the team, and only get to use him in AI hologram form instead of his full-on acting skill set. That doesn't make sense on any level. So if they only use pre-recorded holograms when Riri Williams needs a question answered that's really important to the series, you know, at the end of season 2 kind of thing, like we saw with Luke in The Mandalorian, then you all of a sudden have this hologram that pops up. You have access to new Tony Stark for all of us, but something that's from the Infinity Saga, which means it doesn't ruin the sacrifice. And you know, in the full art of circle storytelling, something that would make Star Wars fans proud, this is what we saw with Iron Man in Iron Man 2 and the pre-recorded video of his father helping him rediscover that element that he was working on, right? It's not new, it's new for all of us, but from a different time. That's what they should do with Iron Man. Avoid bringing him in as a full character. That way you don't have to explain why he isn't on the team the whole time. The only exception being, and as Mikey Sutton reported for a Secret Wars crossover, if we truly do see a multiverse event, and we've talked about Secret Wars at length, I'll make sure to leave a couple of links at the end of this video if you want to explore more on that. That is a full-on meeting of the multiverse. You could see several versions of several different characters. Well, if we're going to have everybody back for that, if he wants to come back somewhere 10 years down the road, out of retirement, I think we'd all make the exception. Old Man Cap, just pick them all up. Anything outside of that, just pre-recorded holograms. If they stick to it, it's going to be safe. It doesn't ruin his sacrifice. And I don't think there's any way we see an Armor Wars and an Ironheart series back to back. There was a reason those were side by side on the panel, guys. One's going to lead into the other. There's no way they're going to do those series, have it center around Iron Man's tech, and then not at least have a hologram pre-recorded cameo in that instance. Hey, he recorded one for his family and daughter. He knew there was a chance they weren't going to make it. There's also a chance he has other pre-recorded holograms. We knew this was something he did, at least voice recordings in his helmet, all the way back at the beginning of Endgame. Who knows how many of those recordings in what capacity still exist all over his lab and in different suits and helmets. All you need is access to a couple of those. Bam, you've got brand new Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role as Tony Stark Iron Man to help Riri Williams and or Rhodey if they should need it during the Armor Wars series, without actually having him back and ruining going forward, and why we always don't have him as an AI. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. Do you agree with any and all of this? Is this how they don't ruin his legacy, and that it's an inevitability he's coming back if you're doing Armor Wars and Ironheart back to back? Let me know all your thoughts, and quickly let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away this insane 1/4 scale Beta Ray Bill, as well as our third and final Infinity Saga box set on New Year's Eve. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and that'll automatically enter you to win the PlayStation 5 at 800,000 subscribers. If you want to win any of the prizes here, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment on the video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Then make sure to hit the notification bell, notifications turned on, to keep up with the content. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me over on Instagram at IamFires, my original music on Spotify under All Fires, or even on Twitch, twitch.tv/Novellin. There's links down in the description to all three. My name's Michael Roman. Thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.